The feast day of Jeremiah is observed on May the 1st. The following are some details on his life and works. The son of Hilkiah, a priest of Anathoth in the land of Benjamin, Jeremiah was cast in the classic mould of prophet after Isaiah, who preceded him by more than a century. His own role as a prophet was a prophecy in itself, as indicated by the words, "Before I formed thee in the belly I knew thee, and before thou camest forth out the womb I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto all nations." He came upon a scene of turmoil to put out the fires that were bringing the cauldrons of controversy to a boiling point, and posing as much of a threat to the community as that of the Babylonian hordes that were poised to strike the city without warning. Jeremiah foresaw the need for preparedness against the enemies of God, and issued a clear warning that should the people continue their sinful ways, they would seal their own fate. In forsaking God, they would in turn be forsaken, he declared, but his warning went unheeded, and he sought to bring about reform in the hope that the wayward would come to see the error of their ways and be prepared for the Lord's judgment. He envisioned the coming of the Messiah, much as Isaiah had, when he predicted a virgin would bear a son who would save the world, and he laboured to restore morality and complete obedience to the laws of God, so that they might be worthy of salvation. Jeremiah excoriated the most sinful, among whom there were even priests, and when he was ignored, he then uttered the prophecy duly recorded in the Bible, that the city of Jerusalem would fall prey to its enemies. The holy city was overrun by the hordes of Babylon, and the innocent as well as the sinner had to flee for his life, scattered like the leaves of autumn, if they were lucky enough to escape at all. Even the prophet Jeremiah might have been captured had he not been saved by the Ethiopian Ebed-melech, with whom he reached the safety of the wilderness. Even as Jeremiah prayed for the salvation of his people, as outlined in his Lamentations, he was declared a traitor for having predicted the fall of Jerusalem, and was so unpopular that he was banished. He could have faded into obscurity, but his mission was far from over. For this prophet of God went to Egypt, where he found favour in the ancient land of the Pharaohs. It was there that Jeremiah revealed himself to be a true man of God. His lost popularity was regained, and reasserted himself as an instrument of God. Jeremiah foretold the coming of Christ, even outlining the cruel fate of the children at the hands of the tyrant Herod, some 6 centuries away. Prior to the fall of Jerusalem, he had issued a call for reform, only to be rewarded with the abuse reserved for criminals. Even the New Testament contains a condemnation of the elements that plague Jeremiah, as in the bitter passage from the Gospel of St. Matthew, chapter 23 and verse 27, which exclaims, "O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, thou that killest the prophets, and stoneth them which are sent unto thee, how often would I have gathered thy children together, even as a hen gathers her chickens under her wings, and you would not." The feast day of Jeremiah is observed on May the 1st in honour of the prophet who died in exile, and at whose tomb Alexander the Great, many years later, knelt in prayer.